Hey there guys, what's happening? So, yeah, it's been made official. Oleksandr Usyk is finally going to be having his heavyweight debut next month in October. He's going to be fighting Tyrone Spong. Now, when I initially heard he was going to be fighting Tyrone Spong, obviously it's somewhat disappointing, because some of the names that were being talked about were a lot more credible heavyweight contenders. But if I'm being honest, I'm just glad to see Usyk get in the ring again because it's been nearly a year since he last fought. So yeah, I'm just glad that he's finally got a fight and he's finally going to be having his heavyweight debut, and then we can see how he looks. I mean, as for the opponent, Tyrone Spong is a former kickboxer, as you guys probably know. He's undefeated in 14 pro fights with 13 knockouts, so he's a fairly big puncher. I mean, he's got a very high knockout percentage. That being at a low level, obviously he hasn't fought anybody who is really a top level fighter. I mean, he did fight Santanga Salgado, who was a former he was a sort of a gatekeeper at cruiserweight a few years back. I remember he got knocked out by Denis Lebedev. He got knocked out in one round by Kudryashov too. So obviously he's fallen into that journeyman category. And yeah, he hasn't really fought that many people, Tyrone Spong. Anybody that's really noticeable other than that, but to be fair, based on the eye test, he's undefeated. I mean, he appears to have a very powerful overhand right. Got a good left hook to the body from what I've seen. He's a very basic and compact type of fighter. Fights with a high guard, bobs and weaves a bit, and looks to just pressure his way to victory. But I don't think he really has anything that Oleksandr Usyk hasn't seen before, as either an amateur or a professional. I mean, as for him being a former kickboxer, well, Alexander Usyk defeated Maris Briedis last year, who's also a former kickboxer. And interestingly enough, in the build-up to that fight with Briedis, one of Usyk's main sparring partners for that fight was Alexei Papin, the Russian former kickboxing world champion. Who of course recently had a very close fight with Olanga Makabu. Yeah, Alexei Papin was Alexander Usyk's main sparring partner for that fight. So yeah, Alexander Usyk understands kickboxers. He's trained with them, he's fought them. So the kickboxing experience that Tyrone Spong has, and that type of stance and style that he has, shouldn't really be a problem for Usyk. So I think Usyk should comfortably win the fight, probably by a late stoppage. Um, the only chance I would give Tyrone Spong is a puncher's chance, but I mean, we don't really know if he hits harder than guys like Marco Huck or Maris Briedis, do we? So I don't know. I think it's an easy fight for Usyk, probably just to ease his way into the heavyweight division, and hopefully after this fight they can get him out quickly again, and hopefully he can fight maybe Carlos Takam, who he's been set to fight on 2 occasions. Hopefully they can finally get that fight out of the way. If not, I would hope that Usyk would consider fighting some taller heavyweights. I would love to see him against the likes of David Price or Marius Vac or Hughie Fury, or I don't know, is it guys like Tony Thompson? Is he still around? Somebody who's tall and awkward, who he could, practice his reach against. Maybe even like a Martin Bakole or an Alexander Ustinov, somebody like that. I'd just like to see him fight the taller, heavier guys in the division, just so that I can get a rough idea of how he would do against the likes of Fury or Wilder or Joshua or any of these guys. Maybe a Robert Helenius fight or somebody like that. Maybe even Gerald Washington. Fight one of those guys, one of those taller heavyweights, just to see how he looks against that type of fighter. But he'll need to get past this kickboxer first. I'm pretty certain he will. I'm pretty certain that Usyk will have too much speed and too much skill for this guy. I mean, Usyk was able to handily outbox Joe Joyce after the amateurs in the WBS tournament, the World Series of Boxing. He was able to completely outbox and school the much bigger, more powerful Joe Joyce. So I don't really see this guy and this guy's power and strength being much of an issue for Usyk. I think it's a fairly easy fight. So yeah, just a quick prediction. I'm gonna go with Usyk by a late stoppage. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching, and yeah, let me know what you guys think. God bless.